risk.
Yeah, so it's quite dangerous, but we had a SSD corruption these few days and have been happening on and off. So just now we decided to change the position of the SSD in our main hull because we suspected that there was some overheating issue. So we moved it to a more kind of cool position, and also we we hot glue the connectors to ensure that the connectors don't come loose, because that could be one of the reasons.
Yeah, that's something that people may not realize until they've had the hands-on experience dealing with a robotic submarine, is that even though you're surrounded by water and everything is very cool nearby, heat is a big issue inside that hull.
Yes, yeah, especially the hull is like a enclosed mass of air, and there's not much circulation, so it can get pretty hot in there. Yeah.
So we've actually seen the run start now and get underway. We're 1 minute in, and we saw a straight shot to the gate, as we'd expect.
Yeah.
Acquiring that first path marker and approaching now the flux capacitor, the 3 colored buoys.
Not sure if it has missed the buoy.
Well, one detail I was just going to mention there we didn't do in the course description is the fact that, as you can see, those buoys are at different heights or different depths under the water. So the sub needs to accommodate for that and needs to adjust depth if it's going to bump the buoys front on.
Okay. We didn't expect that, so probably the sub thinks it has bumped into the buoy and reversed, and it's going now for the next task.
If I'm not wrong, Bumblebee doesn't do their recognition of the buoys using vision, right?
Yeah, so we have a sonar on our system, which give us a 2D image view from bird's eye view, and we kind of fuse these images with our front-looking camera, and we fuse these two readings to give us a more accurate position of where the buoy is.
That's something that really impressed me when you guys explained it to me earlier, that you had done that fusion between the vision and the sonar information. That's a really advanced technique.
Yeah, so we've been working on this for quite a long time. We actually have our sonar on our system since last year. So last year we brought it to Robosub as well, but we kind of just collected data and analyzed it afterwards. So only this year we have managed to get it working properly.
Would you say that was the majority of the software effort in the past year, was getting that system to work?
Not really. We have worked on other sub parts of the software as well. For example, the navigation system. We made corrections to our point-to-point navigation software, and we spend plenty of time on our acoustic as well.
Well, now we see the torpedo task for the first time in this final sequence, and the sub seemed to be checking out the top 2 portals. The bottom right one there, you can see, this is the first time we've had a close-up look at it under the water. You can see that sliding panel that, in order to achieve maximum points, the sub will need to actually physically manipulate.
Yeah, I think it's attempting to open the lid right now.
Oh, look at that! What a nice slide.
A little bit more, a little bit more.
And your torpedoes, are they pneumatic? Will we see some air bubbles when they launch?
Yeah, we would expect to see bubbles.
Dave has made his obstacles really well, so you see the slider just dangling over there.
That was definitely a nice job manipulating that sliding window out of the way, and we can see it
Flying
floating
away
off
now.
now into the distance.
I hope it doesn't get in the way later.
Oh, and then we have a torpedo launch. Very nice.
Well done, team.
So once again,
What?
We need it to be out of the way.
and there's the other launch. So one small, one large in the date setting task. Very exciting to see. Tell me, has the door floating free like that, has that ever happened in any of your runs during the practice?
No, actually we had not had that problem before, but somehow during our first semi-final run, the lid was inserted in the wrong orientation. So the handle was horizontal, but we managed to open it. We didn't know how.
Hopefully the sub wouldn't get caught with the handle because they look pretty close now. That's like the sub chasing after the panel.
Yeah, this is making me very nervous right now because the rules of the competition state that the sub, if it breaches the surface other than in the octagon, it ends the run. So being up there that close to the surface of the water is kind of making me bite my nails here.
Yeah, that's pretty close to the surface.
What kind of depth is the submarine normally designed to traverse the pool at?
For Robosub, we usually go at 1 meter deep. For different tasks, we would then adjust our depth such that it's optimal. Yeah, so 1 meter is the depth that we usually travel at.
Really close to the surface here. Okay, so I just received word from the production team here that it did in fact breach the surface. So the team is deciding at present whether to do another run because technically the scoring portion of this run is over. However, part of the tactical decision may be to let it continue its run unscored to see what it does, and that's equivalent to a test because there's still plenty of time to do another run, and so if we can see that the sub does what it's supposed to do, they can do a restart knowing that nothing needs to be changed. Would you say that's probably what's happening over there in the dock?
I'm not so sure, but probably with this plenty of time, we might go for another one.
Coming in now under the octagon that's closest to us here at the commentary bench, but we of course do not know which pinger Dave has selected, so we don't know if this is the correct one or not. And I can see that from here, that was a surfacing in this octagon.
It could be possible that the depth sensor wasn't.
But actually I think the team might not know that they have reached the surface because
I'm not sure if they have received any instruction from Dave.
So I've received confirmation that our suspicions were correct, that the run ceased being scored at the first breach, but the team is just seeing what the robot will do and seeing how it plays out the rest of the run unscored because they have enough time to do a restart and